All right, everybody, we are here today with a special episode. We don't normally do these lives during the day. Welcome. Nope, wrong way. There we go. Welcome, everybody. We are just kind of recording today because we have we, let's just say we've been busy and
Yeah,
haven't had a
yeah,
chance to
that's
really
that's a good way to say it. Yeah,
and haven't had a chance to record some stuff because we've been busy. And so we wanted to get hang out today and just kind of talk a little bit about the 90s summer because now it's really not summer anymore, Joel. If you haven't noticed, it's almost winter. It's cold and rainy here in Indiana, and man, I'm not ready for the winter, but you know, it is what it is.
there's a certain crispness in the air here in late October. Uh, the leaves are out. They're falling. I think by the time it warms up during the day, it's lovely. It's nice for now,
But now,
but we
but
all know
it gets
that
dark so early now,
it does. Well, and we have the time change coming up
right?
next this
This
coming
this
Sunday.
coming Sunday, we have a time change coming up, so
I'm
everything
gonna
is going to
fall
shift and
back,
change.
man.
Yes, yeah.
I'm gonna
So,
fall back.
well, I wanted to recap a little bit about the summer of the 90s because we talked earlier on an episode about the 90s summer in which you were going to essentially take all technology away from your kids because you wanted to punish them. No, not really. You just wanted
Yeah,
them to
that was it.
you
Yeah,
wanted to
that
get
was it.
them out and about. You wanted to get them into the community and do what you did as a kid of the 90s, right? Ride your bike everywhere. You didn't have a cell phone.
No, no,
So tell
no.
me
We had phones attached to the wall, Andy, like normal human beings.
so tell me a little bit about how that went. First off, what did you do? Like
Yeah. Okay.
what did you have
Yeah.
them do?
Yeah. So the basic breakdown is that the 90s summer, is basically they had access to the same technology that they would have had access to, relatively speaking, in the 90s. And so, yeah, you can make phone calls, but you're what you're doing on the internet is highly limited. And all in all, it went well. So gaming system use, game systems went out of the house. They were uh, as a reward for good behavior. Um, we brought them back in for periods of time, whatever, if they wanted to play with their friends or whatever online. But by and large, yeah, greatly reduced. Um, and we just encourage them to get outside and do things, spend time with friends, go places, enjoy their youth, and uh, some slight mixed results, as you might imagine,
Sure.
but
So
overall
yeah, so
positive.
you have four kids that range from how old is Aaron?
So Aaron will be 16 next month.
All right. And
So
then Molly
16 right now.
is
9.
9. So you really have a range of people. Oh, so tell me about the results. Tell me what
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
happened. Did you have
Yeah.
anyone revolt?
Yeah, the results were, first of all, when we started this off, I had this could not have gone better in this regard. So we we start off, and then I had a seminar I gave at a national conference for Avana network that you and I are both part of. And um I talked about discipling an anxious generation, and gave the seminar. And I will say I was really pleased. I packed out all three seminars. There was a high degree of interest in it, and those seminars are directly connected to technology use, specifically um, phone use and other sorts of media use. And so, I'm what I'm advocating for is one particular thing is that our schools need to be places where cell phones are not readily available, um, in order to help with learning and all that. And so kind of give an outline of saying, like, we particularly as people of faith might need to think differently about how we're engaging with this, particularly our young kids as their brains are forming and developing and all of that, like what it's doing, all that. And then obviously I got asked the great question in this seminar. Okay, good insights, good information. Joel, what are you doing? And I was like, so glad you
what am
asked.
I doing?
We're doing 90's summer, and this is what it looks like, and kind of the uh elimination of a lot of just easy access to technology, gaming systems not readily accessible, phone usage, in terms of gameplay and all that, like those things shut down. And I had a lot of adults in the room, and they were like, wow, this sounds
Sounds amazing.
crazy amazing, crazy amazing. And what I also heard, though, Andy, was a lot of like, I think that's a great idea from teenagers.
Okay.
And
So the teenagers were liking it.
yeah, because and I don't want to like overstate this, but like a drug user knows that the drugs they're using are not good for them, but they're addicted to them, right? And it's hard for them
Well,
to imagine how they would go on without them.
right. And I think us adults are the same way. I mean, we
100%.
realize how much we're
Yes.
using the phone,
Yeah.
but we have
Yeah.
a tough time trying to put it down.
Right. And like so when you talk to youth about this option, about an option, it's more of a, I would not choose this on my own. I'm not going to choose this on my own, but I wish an adult would step up and help me choose it.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and so that's like a little bit of a like because don't get me wrong, my kids pushed back on this at various times, particularly if they couldn't like readily come up with something to do like that wasn't technology based.
Sure. Yeah.
The moment that sense of like potential boredom, that they had an opportunity to be bored, they became upset and they began to bargain and plead and at various times, right? And I get that. And I, as a parent, feel, depending on how I am doing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of that, whether or not I have the capacity to navigate that and be the adult in the room,
Yeah.
definitely is there. That's a thing, right? Because there are absolute times from like, I will just put this, go play your stinking video game for a couple of hours because that will give me a little breathing room, right? That's going to give me a little time to like
Right.
and all
So
that.
you found it challenged you also because you as a
Oh yeah.
parent had to adjust the way
Yep.
that you parented and didn't just use a toy as a pacifier or a
Right.
device as a
Right.
pacifier.
Yeah. Sure. That's definitely a thing. And just got to be a little more strategic about offering things for them to do. Here's the outcomes are they rode their bikes a lot more, they went to the park a lot more, they several times came up with games that like all four of them could play. There was
Sure.
just more
Yeah.
engagement in that sort of stuff, and they found out that they liked it. And I will say, about 2 weeks in, once they had detoxed a
Okay.
little bit, I did notice, and I took note of this, and I would try to point it out, like when Jackie and I were interacting with each other, or talking or whatever. I would try to point it out without it being super obvious, because you'll sabotage it if you say it out loud in front of them. You'll sabotage
Oh yeah,
it.
total.
But they interacted with each other in a much nicer way. They were
Interesting.
more kind with
Were they
each
less
other.
irritable? Like
Yes.
they got less irritable.
Yes. That is a great term, and I would say that is the irritability factor was decreased in general. It
Interesting.
was raised when they ran out of things to do, or like, oh, it's raining out, and now I got like, oh, what are we gonna do? And
So it was raised when they couldn't readily find something else to
readily,
do
when it
as an
was
alternative.
right, because you're flexing a little bit of flexing a muscle. Again, this would be true for all of us. Of there's going to be points at which it was not as easy to find alternative things to do to entertain themselves or whatever. And so it's like you had to push a little bit harder, like figure out like, oh, this might be I might be reading, oh God forbid, I might be reading a book for the next 30 minutes or something, like maybe I need to do that. Or
Right.
Molly, Molly, the younger kids, Molly in particular, did a pretty good job on like the like kind of getting out the craft kit and like making arts and crafts and doing stuff like that. So I definitely saw more of that. I also have a lot more I have a lot of beads, small beads in my carpet now. But I'll take it. I'll take it. It's fine. Um and the kids got we're not there yet, but it's getting better in terms of like follow through on chores, like assigned chores and a rotation of those sort of things. Um that's better. And we were able to say like, hey, you guys do, we're going to go a couple weeks here if you guys follow through on chores in a timely manner, we're not fighting and begging and pleading and all that. Yeah, you guys can do some game, you can do some gameplay. We'll
So you didn't completely get rid of everything. You just
Yeah.
pretty much used that as a more
Yeah.
of a reward later
Right.
on in it, but you didn't use that as a crutch. You didn't, yeah, you
Yeah,
essentially
right.
said because you are good, you got a chance to
Yeah.
do this and you
Yeah.
earned this back as opposed to just this is default, go do this because yeah. Okay.
Right. Yep. So that's, I mean, basically what June, July, and through mid August, I guess we did this for like 2.5 months, basically. And it was good. Um, Now I will say, and this is on me, it's totally on me. We had um 3 of our 4 kids had fall break this last week, and that was for a full week. And we had the game systems back in. And I was probably I was not prepared. I should have monitored that better because they, like a drug addict, went went straight back to filling
Sure.
every empty spot,
Well,
every
but I
empty
think that
time.
that I mean I think that that's kind of normal. Not just because not just for drug addicts, but I mean like that was a time that they were not in their normal
Yeah,
rhythms
right.
and habits of life because they're out of habit because they're not normally in school. Just like summer, it takes a little bit for that to kick in, and there's that like transition time between school and summer break when they kind of do just chill out for a while before they get into the rhythm of okay, I need to get up and do my daily chores, I need to get up and do this, I need to do my Bible reading and things like that. And so I think that's kind of normal. Now, when do you expect this project to end? Like, are you going to end it, or are you going to go back to it now, or have you gone back to it now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we probably like having this, honestly, you mentioning that having this conversation has sort of reignited in my mind, like, okay, what does a, because all of this was really scheduled and developed around summer break, right?
Sure,
And
yeah.
now
Hmm.
it's like, okay, we're in the school year. And so we probably need to, yeah, we probably need to revisit it. I mean, the one thing, so we're, because right now the status is that our kids have on their phones, they have access that shuts off at the same time every night. And although I feel like they've been bargaining bargaining for a little more time. The deal is that they both, one of them has had like rehearsals at school till, and doesn't, and doesn't quite drive yet. So has asked for like more time for his stuff to
Yeah,
work
and I
because
think
they're
that
late
that's
and
a
all
give
that.
and take. That's a give and take thing. I think
Yeah.
we've had to realize and go through some of that too with some of our kids where it's like okay, well, you're going to be on this long trip. I know for instance Reagan's a part of FFA, and
Yeah.
they are going to be even like this week they're going to be taking a trip for that, and it's always like, well, can I have some more time on Instagram because I'm going to be riding in the mini bus for 3 hours, and so it's a give and take. I mean, yeah, I try to make sure that she knows, hey, you need to make sure that you're engaging with other people and having good relationships, but also at the same time, yeah, I'm going to give you some more time just because like I know that how that is on the bus. If
Yeah.
everyone else is in their phone, nose in the phone, and what else are you supposed to do? Just sit and stare out the window?
Right. Right. Um, yeah, I'm with you there. So it's a and I think we've also had conversation about, even in terms of like some of our usage filters and things like that, like changing that up and looking at some different options. But we need to, yeah, we need to re-engage on what usage looks like, because so, and here's the thing, like one of my kiddos, you know he's got uh he's got a new, like a newer friend who I think is, I think it's like, it's good that they've connected, but they have primarily connected through um uh gosh, what is it? They've connected through playing Minecraft. Like they've been like really heavy into Minecraft. And if I allowed it, they would go on for for hours and hours and hours. So
Sure.
it's like, well, hey, I'm glad you're having these conversations, and you're doing something with another person. It's just like, can it not be all through
Sure.
this medium? So figuring that out. And then
So quickly, Ty Miller
yeah,
has
I see
asked,
Ty's got a question
what
here.
app or device does the auto shut off? That day is coming soon for him. So what
Yeah.
are you using to actually do the shut off of your internet at home?
Right. So that's so Ty, we've got SurfNet where we are. I don't know what you're not too far away. And but the router settings specifically, Arrow, they use these Arrow, the
E-
EERO, Arrow. How, of course, it can't be spelled like normal. It's got to whatever. But the routers, all the systems, you can specifically assign profiles to each device, and then the device is allowed to have these things running or these things not running. And then obviously we also, like on the iPhone platform, we're also using what you call it, Andy, the
Canopy? Or
yeah,
no?
well,
Yes. We,
we've used Canopy. I think we've had a little bit of trouble with Canopy, like when it's been installed on our
we
kids' phones,
we've had some trouble with that also. So
like it's yeah, their phone does not work properly
yeah,
sometimes.
there's a
So
lot of and then Ty, I would check into that. Like it's an app called Canopy. It does a lot of. The nice thing about that is because it goes beyond what Joel just said with the router, because the router only works when they're at home, and it's easy to go, okay, I'm gonna go off the internet. I'm gonna go off
yeah.
the home internet and go on cell. So the Canopy works well because it does a lot of filtering. It but again, it's kind of a give and play. You got to kind of work with it and tweak it to make it work well for you. I found sometimes, I allow an app, but because there's a website in the background that the app uses that you don't know, you have to kind of try and figure that out.
Yeah.
And it's been interesting too, because it does do like there's been sometimes it's flagged some pictures that it thought were bad, but it actually wasn't bad. It was like something like, just like, okay, well, like, yeah, that's not bad. Like it was something that one of my kids took, on their phone of themselves, but it was not a bad picture at all. But
Yeah,
for some reason, Canopy thought it was.
yeah, again, AI technology being used there
Right.
for a lot of that. We've thought about, I think, using Bark is another one. So we're
I'm
kind
not
of in the we're in
I'm
the
not
test
familiar with
market.
that one.
Yeah, BARK. Um, I think we're probably switching over just to see it. None of them, guys. I wish there was like one that didn't have any like hiccups whatsoever. But there is going to be some challenges. And then obviously on like on the iPhone, like on the parent
Right. You can
controls.
do that. And that's one things that I've relied on heavily too, is not
Yep.
just like Canopy I'm using for a lot of the like filtering of stuff, because I found that the iPhone doesn't do that very well at all. As far as like bad, stuff that they shouldn't be getting to. You What I use the iPhone controls for is specifically things like time limits on apps and time limits on specific
Yep.
things, as opposed to like content filtering, because it doesn't do
Right.
the great as that
Right.
great on that, but it allows you to take more control of, okay, you've been on Instagram for 3 hours today, like don't do that. So
Yeah. Stop it. Yeah. I've been without Instagram for I think over a month now,
and
Andy.
you're okay.
I got rid of it, and nothing bad has happened to me. So that's good.
There is a third arm growing out of your shoulder there, but
Yeah,
oh wait, that's just the
what I
AI.
don't yeah, I was doing, I think probably more, the doom scroll on
Hmm.
Instagram than anything else, and so I just kind of recognized like, why, why,
Yeah.
and so just gotten rid of it, and because it's really just a lot of it is just doubling up what's on Facebook anyway, and so it's kind of like, eh. So that's been okay. That's been
Awesome.
all right. Yeah,
Awesome.
and I'm probably a more well balanced human being
You
for it.
are probably, and that also goes along with your summer of the '90s. I mean, it's really
Yeah.
you're not only making your kids do it, but you're leading by example there.
We're trying, and I it it is it is a challenge, and we all just have to make it's just one of those things that we're going to have to make, like a cut, like a determined decision to follow through on, because we believe, I mean, anybody, for any of us, like, we just believe that the outcomes, the long-term game is worth it, and that investment in watching over our kids as their brain, particularly in their early brain development years, that they're
Well,
not just being bombarded with all this
and
stuff.
and not just that, but I mean us as ourselves too. Like I said, it helps us be better parents too, because if we're not so engrossed in it, and I know I find that for myself too, when I'm super engrossed in the internet and on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, I'm more irritable as a parent. And so like
Yeah, yeah.
my job
Uh-huh.
as a parent is not that great when that happens. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And it's yeah, I mean, it just, I'm reminded of all the stuff that we're exposed to, and some of it, I mean, even the decent okay stuff is even challenging. Right now we've got, I haven't checked in with our friends down in Montego Bay, Jamaica Relief Ministries. I've been following, like, social media. I've been following with the hurricane, with hurricanes going through. Like,
Hmm.
I'm following how they're doing and what's going on with them, and that in of itself, just that alone, is like kind of this stress-inducing, tension-building
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then, that's just from like a natural weather pattern, natural disasters, let
Right.
alone any of the other things that are going on. And so yeah, um, I'm just aware, like, we have to be vigilant about these things and monitor it. And it is part of our formation. It's part of our discipleship,
Hmm.
and that goes for us, and that goes for our kids, and that goes for yeah, just the communities um, that we're trying to invest in. And
Hmm.
I should say, for all the I've had the fortunate experience of hanging around some educators and other youth leaders who are trying to implement these things and are trying to be intentional about it. And I want to cheer them on, because it's uh yeah, if our kids can just unplug and be relational for some period of time, they're going to be better for it. So
Absolutely.
we'll keep on keeping on.
Well, thanks, Joel, for giving us an update. And again, we'll be back with our normally scheduled show here soon. We just have gotten life has been crazy the last couple of weeks, and so we thought we'd come to you with a quick little update, which turned out to be almost a regular show. I mean, it's been 23 minutes now that we're recording,
That's
so
how we do it,
that's how we
Andy. We
roll.
just get chatting and talking, and here we are. So
Awesome.
yeah, hey, thanks everybody for hanging out with us, and we hope to, yeah, see everybody soon again.